All right, now let's move into Mississippi. All right, so let's get into Mississippi. Mississippi is not a tax deed state, it's actually a tax lien state. So you don't receive immediate possession. They do have a redemption period and a timeline that you have to wait, but it's cool. That gives you more time to actually find properties that may be just residual income. Because when we're dealing with the tax deed lien state, you don't only have the option just to get a tax certificate for the property. You have the option to get that residual income. Find a cul-de-sac, then that's not built on. If you say on that tax lien list, LLC marketing and binding, LLC marketing and binding, LLC marketing and binding, and that is the company name, and it's on 5 different parcels, that's telling you that's going to be redeemable. And that tells you that that's in the cul-de-sac, and that tells you that that developer is not going to let you foreclose on them. So you just have to be ready to get your money back. And the next thing you see is not only consecutive names, you're going to see that the actual taxes on each parcel is the same. It'll be like 2500, 2500, 25, 25, 20, like that. You see what I'm saying? And then if the particular state have an 18% interest, depending on when they actually redeem, if it's a flat rate interest, meaning no matter when they redeem, you get 18%, or it is monthly, which is compound, a way of compound, meaning you invest this month and then they paid you 6 months. You're not getting 18%, you're getting half. You're going to get 9%. Okay. We got a bonus section as well that talks about compound interest versus simple interest. Is just in theory. And that's going to help you read them contracts for them loans and be like, oh my God, it's compound interest. Compound interest. The house is $129,000 with the 9% interest rate. Oh my God. So that means that I'm going to be paying close to $210,000 before I die on this property. I'm just throwing out some numbers out there, but that's how it works. That's what compound interest. All right, so Mississippi, we do know that is a tax lien sale state, and they offer over the counter. Whoopee! We get to sit home and chill, look on the GSI, look on Google Live. What's going on down there from my bedroom, right there on the couch? Okay, and then you hire a realtor to be like, "Hey, could you go check out this property for me? I'm gonna pay you $100." They'd be like, "Cool." I'm trying to. People need money. You gotta negotiate. Okay. So the interest rate in Mississippi is 18%. Okay, yearly on the liens. So it's gonna be yearly, meaning like for the full year. So if you see that, meaning that month by month you're gonna get your interest off of that. It's gonna be like 1.2%. Like I said, after 6 months, it's gonna be like 9%. Okay, you understand? So that's how that works. They have a 2-year redemption period. So what that means is that the homeowner has 2 years to actually pay on a tax lien. And what we say when is a 2-year redemption period? You pay for the tax lien this year. They gonna be in there for another year. 9 out of 10, if they ain't pay the tax lien for this year, they ain't gonna pay it for next year. You be ready to get that next tax lien certificate. Because as we talked about, first in line, first on time. Now, if you don't get that tax lien certificate and the next person get it, you still have first interest. They have to pay you before you foreclose, but they still have interest. And you have to pay them if you decide to foreclose before them. But if they decide to foreclose and then you like, no, 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 I'm gonna do it, then legally you have the right because you first in line. That's how the tax lien game works. So when you have 2 years, 3 years redemption period on the tax lien, look for the other one. Talk to the tax lien office. Be like, hey, do I get a notification now that I have interest in this property about the next one? And they'll be like, no. Or they're like, yeah, we can email you. Just let us know. We'll put you on a list. Closed mouth don't get fed. Ask crazy questions. Crazy questions get good answers. I ask. All you can say is no. Let me give you an example. I'm kind of getting off topic, but I had to pay some taxes. So one of my business, I didn't establish the tax for Georgia until like 6 months down the line to start paying the state. So when I logged on, I put in all the time money I made for the 6 months, paid my little taxes. All of a sudden, bam, a fee. I was like, oh, $400. I didn't even make that yet. So so I was talking to the lady today. I was like, this is what happened. I'm seeing a little balance still here. She like, no, that's not a balance. That's a credit. They did something wrong if I got a credit. I'm like, you told me it was this amount. I got a credit. That's why you got to call and ask the questions. Even to the state, I ain't scared. You don't be scared to ask them the question. So she started telling me, she was like, I was like, I had to drop this on her. I'm just telling y'all a story. I had to drop this on her. I was like, I done paid $350 in penalties and I didn't even make that much. You took all of my money. I made this much. She got quiet and started looking at stuff. She was like, well, you could have applied for a free waiver. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know this and the third. So she started explaining to me. I was like, okay, well, I paid for it already. So can I apply today? Closed mouth don't get fed. She's like, hey, you really can. I don't know if you're going to get it, but try. So all I'm saying, I'm that person that's going to try it. And I think you should try it too. Closed mouth don't get fed. Ask them specific questions. Hey, the next tax lien sale, if this is on the list, can I get notification? And they're going to be like, sure, because you are possibly going to be a resident in their county. You're going to have to be communicating with these people. So this is why some of these counties really want human beings to invest in their tax liens, not corporations. Think about it. All right, so the certificate may be redeemed anytime within 1 year of the last day of the sale. So the homeowner, got 2 years. You got 1 year within that tax lien sale to go start to redeem. So once that year come, bam, go. It's not within. Just go right there. One day after, start your process because then the clock is ticking. In 1 year, your tax lien certificate expires. Okay. All right. So you want to do that. Keep that in mind. The last day of the sale, the amount of the paid taxes plus the interest, that's 10%. So basically, that's going to be your interest rate. That's your premium bid. So they want 10% interest. The interest that's due at that time, that's part of it. You got to figure it out. Some counties may don't want you to do that. Just look at the county and read it. I'm giving you the worst case scenario as far as Minnesota, like, just like things that you can expect. But not all counties want you to do that. You got to see the judge to do the foreclosure process here in Minnesota. It's probably like similar to Maryland. Okay, so you have to see a foreclosure specialist in this particular state, but then you want to talk to a foreclosure lawyer before you even go in and say, hey, what can I expect? I'm looking into investing into this state. What do you do? What's your specialty? How many times have you foreclosed? Look for your specialist before. Yup, yup. Take your time because you don't want to get on no Joe Blow Schmo at the end because you in a rush and then they just lie and take your money. You want to do some intense research. We also going to do a little live and teach you how to look up for good lawyers in different states. Yup, we could Google them. They got a lot of platforms that tell you about lawyers. And if you ain't seeing no review about them, just leave them alone. Okay? Mm-hmm. You ain't get referred to them. All right, so let's go into the checklist. We're gonna go into the checklist. We're just gonna be some more key points because y'all see I'll be digging into it. We're going to dig into it. How long we been live today? I'm so happy. I'm so happy because if y'all went in earlier, y'all saw I was on live for like 16 minutes and nobody could hear me. I was like microphone check, microphone check, microphone check, and I told y'all it was a simple plug inside the computer, and then this thing wasn't plugged up. All right, so I'm doing better. So as we say, Mississippi, this is what we talking about. We talking about Mississippi. If y'all didn't catch that, all the information I just told you is about Mississippi. I do apologize because I don't remember saying Mississippi because I would have said Mississippi. Yeah. So that information I just read to you after that commentary was about Mississippi. Now, Mississippi, the key you need to know is that it's a tax lien state. Again, 18% interest rate on your investment yearly, which means compounded. They have a 1 year redemption period. And in that 1 year, right after 1 year, one day, go get your property. You better have that lawyer on deck. You already talked to them and they saw your lawyer. You got your lawyer because you done been into 4 different counties already and you looked at the tax liens and everything. You know the process. You found 3 counties that had similar process. You in contact with them. They got some over the counter stuff. You like, Bubba, I'm about to start passing real quick. Do some over the counter. We're gonna catch the next sale because it's a yearly sale, but we're gonna get it in right now. That's how you get started today with Minnesota. Once they got that over the counter sale, you ain't gotta wait for the year. So that's great. You don't have to wait for the year no more. You just get in there. All right. So it is expected that the tax lien investor pay the full amount within 48 hours. In some cases, counties does allow installment payments. Keep in mind, according to the state law, if the transaction is completed within 30 days from the date of the tax lien if it's not completed within 30 days, I do apologize, of the original tax lien sale. I told you, some people they give you 30 days, then they terminate it. Now I don't know if they're gonna keep your money. You better listen. You better look at the rules. They probably say you forfeit your money if you don't pay the rest. And you ain't gonna play with these counties. Then you being trying to sue the county like me. Like, no, that was not. That was blurry on the screen. That was false advertisement. I'm just saying. So just pay attention. If you're gonna do installment payments, you make sure that you pay it on time. You don't want to forfeit your money or your rights to even participate in the next tax lien sale or the over the counter sale. Ooh, I'm sorry, I got the camera. I got my paper in your face in YouTube. I do apologize. So we're gonna start closing off. If your home is occupied, or if the home is occupied that you're investing in, the occupant must receive notice within 30 days. This notice must include evidence of the title. It's a little different. Some just say, "Here, this is your notification that I'm invested in your property. Here you go." No, they right here. You got to send them evidence of the title of that certificate, tax lien certificate, and then they need, and that's part of the legal judicial process. Because if you don't do that, and then you go to do your foreclosure when it's time, the judge is going to ask for that document, and you're going to be like, "Put the head down. I have to start all over." So this is what we're teaching. You can't learn this in one seminar. You can't learn this in the 30 minutes that we talk to you here. But we have a platform that you can learn this and at your own pace. It's about 15 hours. All right. So keep in mind, according to the state law, if the home is occupied at the time, um, the transaction that involves the occupant will have additional 2 years to redeem the property. Remember, we said 1 year if they wasn't in the home. It's 2 years if they home in the property. So you want how you okay? This is the next question. I see. I'm the teacher. Like this. I'm gonna be just like my nursing teachers. Terrible. They were terrible to me. This. Okay. This, guys. How do you figure out if someone is in the home? At least. What is the first blues clues that tells you someone is in the home that you're about to invest in? Can I see it? I probably don't see it now, but y'all gonna put it in the comments later. The first thing you're gonna look at is actually the homeowner's information and actually where they service the paper. Because it can be someone who is in the home and then they have a different mailing address. If you see Management LLC, 9 out of 10, they probably don't live at the property. And you're gonna see a separate address. And you're gonna know that that place is possibly not occupied because we still know that that's a third party. If that's a business, they may have rented it out. But then if it's a third party person, just like Beth and Waleed Jones, and they live in Tampa, Florida, and you're in Minnesota, and they have a property in Minnesota, they may have a purpose person in there, they may not. But you want to at least look at those two to start cross referencing. And then what you got to do, get somebody out there to look at it. That is the true verification. I'm going to keep it honest. We could do 70 to 80% online, but you got to have research sources. We got to have teamwork. That's why we're building the platform that we're building. And it's not just to educate you. We have a forum that you can download the app, and once we get all you guys active in the app, y'all can start communicating. So you're like, I'm in Florida. No, you can be like, I'm in New York and I'm looking into Minnesota, but this person lives in Florida, and you there, and y'all talking on the platform, like, hey, you live close there, and the person like, yeah, I'm about to do doing my tax lien, looking around my area while I drive past that house every day. You never know. I'm telling you, we're gonna be connected in this